Thank you for your analysis. That's a really great insight for us. And the other question is like the role of the Workers' Communist Party of EUM in in this revolution, especially because I know there's a like before this incident happened, because I have been following most of the WPI members since 2018. So I know there's a like they have been struggling all the time these years since the 2018 and 19 since I remembered, and I'm pretty sure they have been struggling more than like long before that. Pretty sure about that one. So like what is the role of Workers' Communist Party of Iran in this revolution? Because I like last week I noticed a statement from the WPI for a call for general strike. So that one
Yeah.
is a really great initiative. So like, and when I meet some of the Iranian student here, like when I talk about them with the communist kind of like narrative, community analysis, and left-wing public politics, they always mention me about the WPI. They never mention me about other different groups. They only mention about WPI. They always present about Mansour Ahmad. They always saying that, and sometimes even themselves like had to fight or had to fight back or had to push back against the Western left when it comes to the Islamophobia or something like that, when it comes to the political Islam. So my question is like, what is the role that the WPI is playing at the moment in Iran?
Yeah, thank you for asking this question. I think it's a very important one. Like, I think the Worker Communist Party is the leading uh, sort of movement among the left political parties right now. We are the biggest, basically. Like, in terms of like members, well, like, we have manifesto, we have TV channels, and we have like members all around the world. So I think when someone talks about the Iranian lefties, worker communism or like Worker Communist Party of Iran comes at first. And we have like a different parties which I respect them and I think they're doing a great job. But I think we are the best, if you ask me. Like, of course, like, what's happening inside the country. Like, I cannot say what we've done because like there's like people inside. So for security purposes, I cannot say like the connection we have and like the things that we're doing. But um, if you ask about like what's the role, I think the discourses of the like an ongoing revolution, it's very left and it's very affected by the Worker Communist Party of Iran's manifesto. I can give you an example. Like 30 years ago, like one of our members known as Mahin Alipur, she burned hijab at the very center of Stockholm, and after that there was like a statement saying like burning hijab should be like the first step of the women's revolution in Iran. And then like those days everyone say like hijab is not a big deal. We have like different issues like equal rights and equal rights in terms of like salaries for the women. These sort of issues like were much more important among lefties. Like anytime say like hijab, they say like no, hijab is not really important. Hijab belongs to the like hijab issue belongs to like more like rich people in society. Working class doesn't have any problem with the hijab, but we say like hijab is the most important issue regarding the women's regarding the women's like movements. And soon as hijab is removed, the women's revolution will start, and it happened. Like as I said, like a couple of years ago, like the revolutionary girl, they started like removing their hijab, and now there is like awesome footages of the young generation of the Iranians burning hijab on the street. So we created these discourses. Like women's revolution is it's something that Mansour Hekmat said once, that the upcoming revolution is a women's revolution. We have a TV channel. We cover all the like a protests in the world. In the West, we have like a different petitions talking to the government. We're trying to like close down the embassies and the mosques, specifically like the blue mosques in Hamburg. We are very close to close that place because of all the like protests and like the petitions. Like there are like so many people against that place because they are spying on the like German citizens, and they promoting Islamism and they support Hezbollah in Germany. So there are like like so many people after all these activities we had. are agreed that that place should be closed, and we are very close to close that places. Um, uh, and different and different like other like petitions and negotiations with the government in the West, so they can like put the Islamic regime under pressure to recognize the women's right, to recognize the human rights in the country. And basically we trying to radicalize the revolution as much as I can, as much as we can, and trying to downfall the Islamic regime and empower uh, like a socialist republic in Iran if the people likes it. That's what we fight for. But if you're asking like what we're doing, we have as I said, we have a TV channel, we are active in internet, we talk to the politicians, we radicalize the revolution, and we create discourse for the people who would like to downfall the Islamic regime in Iran.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's a really important step in here because, like, when we say atheism or when we say ex-Muslim, so that is a thing that also happens in Burma as well, and especially in the West too. So when we say atheism, when we say ex-Muslim, they think of us as the liberal who always want to attack the religion, like blatantly.
Mm,
But apparently, most of the ex-Muslim, especially the ex-Muslims, are from the left-wing communist kind of like political
mostly,
spectrum,
not all of them, but
mostly.
mostly.
Yeah, not all of them, but mostly because it
Yeah.
also happens in here. Like when I came here like to Australia in 2018 or 2019, I had to do is I had to call all of my like Pakistani, Bangladeshi friends, like who are ex-Muslim and communists. I have to set up the Zoom meeting with the Western left and tell them that listen to the organic ex-Muslim voices, and this is how you learn. And that was a good deal because the international that I'm a part of, they listen to me, they listen to the comrades that I introduced them with. So and finally, they understand that they have been too much privilege and they have been delusional and they accept our analysis. They are like, okay, we will privilege. We're sorry about supporting the like Muslim Brotherhood in the things and stuff like that. As you know, most of the Trotskyists supported the uh like Muslim Brotherhood in the Egypt revolution. So that was a really shameful movement. I suggested to them, and then right now that is a really great movement. They shift back to us. They have supported us again, but as you know, in the old days, like let's say in a decade ago, they think whenever they hear the sound, like whenever they hear the label called new atheism, they are saying they are racist, they are Islamophobic, they are reactionary. They always say that. Right now, they are thinking before doing that kind of thing. So I think that is a good move as well. And then,
Yeah.
and that is also like attributed to the WPI and its movement because I noticed that like whenever the secularism is threatened, even in the West, WPI always standard for the secularism, especially in that France conflict and everything like that. Like I noticed that WPN always stands for secularism. So like, so why do you think the secularism important for the Iranian revolution and Iranian government? So like, what is the outlook?
Well, there's like when there's a revolution, actually, you're always trying to like be in the position that like you are against the, like the current government, and the current government is not secular. The current government is Islamic. There's like the official law is Sharia law, and Sharia by the way that these mullahs and imams see it. Um, so secularism in that term can be a motivating motto for the young generation of the people who would like to have change. Um, Secularism is important because it, I think, according to the previous experience of the other countries, it can guarantee or like mostly guarantee the citizens' rights. So just look what's happening in Turkey, specifically before Erdogan. Like Erdogan is just like it's a threat, I think, to all these secular traditions in Turkey. But if you're comparing Turkey, for example, with Iran, like citizens of Turkey has much more rights, yeah, than the Iranians, and they are very close to each other. We have like similar histories, similar movements, almost same language, like Turkish and Persian are very close to each other. Like we have so many Iranians who talk Turkish in Iran, and so many Iranian talk Persian in Turkey. But if you compare these two, for example, uh, Turkey as a secular country is much better for the citizens rather than Iran as Islamic country. Yeah. So there's 2 points, two most important point in terms of secularism. First of all, it can be a very interesting, motivating motto and goal for the people who would like to have change, for the people who are on the street and fighting against the government. And also we can say like secular countries can support and protect the human rights much more than the other examples like Islamic states or some other things. So that's how I see that's how I see the importance of secularism for a country like Iran.
Yeah, thank you for that one.